Chapter 940. When shepherds quarrel, the wolf has a winning game under the Crown Prince Crocodile's control. The endless water waves condensed into a lifelike sky-devouring crocodile with a hill's size, not inferior to the giant demon. Boom! The sky-devouring crocodile smashed directly into the giant demon as if two hills had crashed into each other. The collision brought to the ground, shaking the mountain, raising a cloud of smoke. These two massive, vicious beasts were like giants in the myths and legends. They slammed into each other and fought. Boom, boom, boom. Each fist was impactful. Every collision was a direct physical collision. There were no cutting corners. It made the giant demon bloodthirsty. However, this fierce sky-devouring crocodile was even more vicious and fearless because the Crown Prince directly controlled it. He ignored all the damage on him. Relying on the true color of being fierce and not afraid of death, the sky-devouring crocodile drew a massive wound on the giant demon's body. The wound was dripping with blood. In the end, this giant demon couldn't sustain itself any longer. With a roar, the demon aura all over his body ran rampant at once. The giant demon launched a devastating punch on the sky-devouring crocodile manifested from water. The water body couldn't stop this punch, capable of piercing heaven and earth, allowing the punch to puncture it. The sky-devouring crocodile still wanted to attack, but the giant demon grasped it firmly and tore it apart. The sky-devouring crocodile was directly torn in two and then burst into water vapor. The spirit which Crown Prince Crocodile attached to it was also crushed in an instant. The water waves failed to condense another water crocodile. It was conceivable how tremendous the consumption would be to condense such a massive, vicious beast. However, the prince didn't care because the opportunity he wanted had arrived. He launched his long spear instantly. It was swift. The long spear in his hand cut through the vast sky in an instant, like a long crystal dragon, piercing everything. His attack came too fast, with only the afterimage visible in the sky. Looking from afar, the long spear was still in Crown Prince Crocodile's hands. However, the other end of the spear had already bombarded the giant demon. At the moment when the spear tip was about to blast into the giant demon's body, the spear tip suddenly began to spin frantically. Countless demon auras around began to be absorbed in it, forming a huge spiral drill head. It drilled into the giant demon's body, unhindered. Boom! Although the giant demon was unparalleled in power, it was not too strong in terms of speed. Worse still, it was an ambush. It was too late to react. He could only watch the spear tip imbued with a dense demon aura drilled directly into his chest. His chest was severely mutilated, like the wound coming from an explosion. The long spear directly blasted a big hole in his body. What happened was different from the previous attack, akin to a needle. It was a severe injury. The giant demon was in pain. The massive hand, bulky as a big tree, slammed at Crown Prince Crocodile directly from the air. The attack was quick and anxious. Crown Prince Crocodile was caught off guard. He was hit now, with his body flew away again. A water blue protective barrier propped up almost instantaneously. Yi Zaiwen's eyes never left Crown Prince Crocodile. Although Crown Prince Crocodile was slapped directly into the air, he could see that Crown Prince Crocodile did not suffer much damage, albeit the sorry state. The giant demon had undeniably possessed formidable strength. However, it had fatal flaws, being unable to crush his opponent overwhelmingly with the advantage. If Yi Shiwen were to be put into the same situation, Crown Prince Crocodile had no way to escape at all. At this moment, Yi Shi and Yi Xing, who had been waiting for a long time, darted forward in an instant. Above their saber and sword, a dazzling light burst out. They slashed directly on the giant demon's massive wound again, tearing the wound bigger. Boom! The giant demon fell directly to the ground, making the earth tremble straight. Filthy animal, die! At this time, Crown Prince Crocodile's attack followed by. The crystal spear, drawing brilliant crystal brilliance in the sky, becoming bigger and bigger. It nailed on the giant demon's wound. Boom! The giant demon screamed agonizingly as it nailed to the ground. It had no way to retaliate. The crystal spear had pierced its heart. The blood spattered like a volcanic eruption. In just a few seconds, he lost the sense of his body, with its vitality leaking away at an alarming rate. It had no strength to break free from the Crown Prince Crocodile's crystal spear after struggling twice. In the end, it could only hold his grudge bitterly under the long spear. Without this giant demon, Crown Prince Crocodile and others continued the slaughter, killing many demons. These demons were outmatched, with their numbers reduced in just a while. It was just that Crown Prince Crocodile looked quite sorry at this time. Although this giant demon was not his opponent, he was terribly embarrassed. This feeling made him feel depressed and want to vomit blood. Those demons were endless to be killed. The opponent rushed forward again. Also, several mighty demons were approaching from a distance. Crown Prince Crocodile hesitated. He originally wanted to put the giant demon's body away, but now it appeared to be too late. He couldn't help but gritted his teeth and said, "Let's go." They could not afford to delay any further. Otherwise, the endless demon onslaught would wipe them out. Many years had passed, with many demons prospering here. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts followed the prince to leave this place. Although they could not loot the entire battlefield, there was nothing much to do about it at this time. If they refused to leave, these demons would entangle them here. Among these people, Yi Shiwen, who had converged and hid his aura, was inconspicuous at all. He quietly fell behind the group and quickly drew a gap with the large group. When Yi Shiwen no longer saw any Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts, he quickly turned back and retrieved the giant demon's body into the Tianyuan mirror. It was not an ordinary demon, but a formidable Transcendent Realm 8th level being. The giant demon with a sturdy physique. The blood essence quantity was unimaginable. For Yi Shiwen to attain Transcendent Realm 5th level in a short time, it would depend on whether he could absorb these blood essences. The top 100 competition was approaching. There was not much time for Yi Shiwen to attain more breakthroughs. He must have a breakthrough as early as possible. After seeing Crown Prince Crocodile's offense with his own eyes, it was at a different level than the previous encounter. Last time, Yi Shiwen thought that Crown Prince Crocodile was strong because the cultivation gap between him and Crown Prince Crocodile was too far apart at that time. Right now, Yi Shiwen could faintly feel that Crown Prince Crocodile was outstanding, albeit their cultivation gap was narrowing. In this case, he could instead see that Crown Prince Crocodile possessed combat strength much stronger than he initially imagined. Although he was still confident with his escape from Crown Prince Crocodile, it was impossible to defeat Crown Prince Crocodile head-on. Only when he had stepped into the Transcendent Realm 5th level would there be hope. The best way was to absorb the demon's blood essence. Only by refining the blood essence into his use could he make rapid progress. It could be said that he harvested Crown Prince Crocodile's effort in killing this giant demon. If he came by himself, it was impossible to hunt down a demon at this level. The blood essence of this giant demon alone was worth dozens or even hundreds of other Transcendent Realm 7th level demons. It no longer brought a quantitative change but a qualitative change. However, when he retrieved this body into Tianyuan Mirror, there were already countless demons around. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts left pretty quickly. Hence, they were not encircled. Yi Shiwen, who returned, was surrounded. Yi Shiwen had already expected it, but the blood essence of the Transcendent Realm 8th level giant demon was too tempting for him. It could save him years of vigorous cultivation. Therefore, he returned without hesitation. Luckily, these demons were not too big a problem. The real horror was the roar coming from the several Transcendent Realm 8th level demons chasing from afar. These were horrifying beings. Yi Shiwen, it's not advisable to stay here for long. Yi Mo reminded, it's not just the demons of Transcendent Realm 8th level. There are many demons of Transcendent Realm 9th level joining in the pursuit too. If you don't leave early, you will alarm these demons. Yi Shiwen nodded quickly. He did not doubt Yi Mo's judgment. He was far less sensitive to the demon aura than Yi Mo. Although he had not yet discovered the Transcendent Realm 9th level demon's existence, it must exist since Yi Mo mentioned it. Yi Shiwen didn't hesitate. The storm wings behind him instantly unfolded. He morphed into a ball of thunder, passing directly through the demons. Those demons who wanted to stop him were all being bombarded by storm power. Although for a character like Crown Prince Crocodile, these storm powers might not prove to be a fatal threat. It was more than enough to deal with these Transcendent Realm 2nd and 3rd level demons. With the storm wings fanning at its limit, Yi Shiwen, like a ball of thunder, penetrated a hole directly in the army demon. He fled without a trace. Those few Transcendent Realm 8th level demons chased closely but failed in the pursuit of Yi Shiwen. They roared to the sky in anger. Somehow, they fought amongst each other. The tragedy was not worse than the war between humans and demons. The demon domain's demon clans were fairly wise and well-mannered, but these demons in the sealed site had no intellect as they acted rather beastly. Like if a person grows up in the city, he would be a more civilized person when he grows up. However, if he grows up in a primitive jungle, he will only be like the ape or Tarzan. Chapter 941. Demonic Saber is born. The analogy was valid in the demon clan. The demon domain was much more orderly than the demon clan in other places. Yi Shiwen didn't care about the demon who kept roaring behind but directly chased him in the direction of Crown Prince Crocodile. Although Yi Shiwen flew at his limit, Crown Prince Crocodile and the others were not slow either. After falling behind for so long, Yi Shiwen could not find out where Crown Prince Crocodile and the others went. Luckily, Yi Shiwen was particularly sensitive to the aura. The crowd had left for long, but their aura lingered. Yi Shiwen captured it easily. Yi Shiwen also encountered a lot of demons along the way. He killed the weaker ones on the spot while the stronger ones couldn't catch up with Yi Shiwen. So to say, Yi Shiwen's speed was not slow. After a short period, Yi Shiwen gradually felt that the aura of vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clans people gradually became stronger in the front. In addition to their aura, Yi Shiwen also felt an unusually chaotic demon aura. It just felt like an agitated demon aura trembled heaven and earth. Someone was fighting ahead. Yi Shiwen immediately realized that it would be impossible to produce such a large-scale demon aura fluctuation if it weren't for battles. He hurriedly chased forward and saw two groups of warriors fighting fiercely. One of the sides was none other than Crown Prince Crocodile and the rest. On the other side, there was a group of human experts. However, compared with the Crown Prince Crocodile's lineup, they were undoubtedly much inferior. A blue-robed young man was at the lead. He was handsome with sharp eyebrows. He had a khaki-colored fan in his hand. Every time it was fanned, it would render the demon aura between heaven and earth chaotic. He sent out the terrifying demon aura wind. Even the demon would be torn into pieces by this ominous demon aura wind. This person was also a terrifying Transcendent Realm 8th level expert. Under the joint efforts of Yi Xing and Yi Shi, he fell into a complete disadvantage. In terms of strength, he was better than either of these two. In the face of the duo's combined effort, he had no choice but to lose out. Behind him, there were also a dozen Transcendent Realm 6th level or Transcendent Realm 7th level experts under constant defeat in the face of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts. Although the blue-robed youth was not bad, the human experts were far from the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's experts in terms of overall strength. On the other side, Crown Prince Crocodile did not join in the encirclement and suppression of those human experts. He was searching for something on the Demon Mountain. However, on the Magic Mountain, thousands of weapons were inserted upside down. Every sword martial art instrument emitted energy fluctuations faintly. They were all martial art instruments above human level. Most importantly, Yi Shiwen felt that one of these martial art instruments exuded Earth-level martial art instruments aura. However, it was mixed with these human-level martial art instruments. There was no way to distinguish it among the martial art instruments cluster. Yi Shiwen's eyes suddenly brightened. A good martial art instrument was naturally important to a martial artist. Yi Shiwen had Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber besides Tianyuan Mirror. However, the Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber was hard to utilize. Yi Shiwen could not tame it, so it was a double-edged sword. As for Tianyuan Mirror, there was still a significant gap before transforming and becoming the Earth-level martial art instrument. At this time, if Yi Shiwen obtained an Earth-level martial art instrument, His combat strength would take a leap. Even if he faced a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert, he would not be discouraged at all. Not this. Not this one too. Crown Prince Crocodile kept pulling out weapons one after another but found none of them was the Earth-level martial art instrument he sought. He became impatient immediately. From a distant view, there were many weapons on the entire Demon Mountain. He had to investigate them one by one. It would take eternities. Yi Shiwen, the martial art instruments are amazing. They may have been contaminated by demon aura for a long time. I'm afraid they start to manifest their soul and intelligence. Have you taken notice of these weapons' position? This is an array hiding the real Earth-level martial art instrument in it. With the help of the arrays formed by these weapons, a steady stream of demon auras can be formed for cultivation. If it continues like this, a basic spirit will be born in less than 10,000 years. It will then slowly develop, probably emerge as a souled martial art instrument, said Yi Mo in surprise. Yi Mo was a souled martial art instrument, so he was particularly sensitive to this. Yi Shiwen heard it and looked around. Sure enough, all the martial art instruments turned out to be an array under careful observation. The demon aura continuously instilled it. Crown Prince Crocodile's speed was getting faster and faster. A pair of cold eyes staring at every possible martial art instrument. Yi Shiwen hid his aura and watched from a short distance, allowing him to ambush at any time. For this Earth-level martial art instrument, Yi Shiwen was determined to get it too. If he could have an Earth-level martial art instrument, then he could face Crown Prince Crocodile. It might not allow him to defeat Crown Prince Crocodile. However, it would ensure a safe and easy retreat. In this case, he could contend with Crown Prince Crocodile to a certain extent. The human experts dragged the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan behind, giving them no opportunity to help out. Damn it, Crown Prince Crocodile, you won't find it. We have been here for 3 days and 3 nights. Yet, we still haven't found which one it is. At this time, the blue-robed youth said coldly, I will surely return this generous gift to the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan when I have a chance in the future. Stupid, Si Kong Hao, do you think you can escape? In this sealed site, even if I kill you all, no one will seek justice for you. Crown Prince Crocodile sneered without looking back. For a moment, it appeared that he did not take the blue-robed youth to heart. Although this blue-robed youth had tyrannical strength and stronger than Yi Shi and Yi Xing, he still had a small gap compared to Crown Prince Crocodile. If it weren't for his main focus on finding the Earth-level weapon, the blue-robed youth would have been killed long ago. Si Kongha's threat did not have any deterrent to him at all. Then try me! Si Konghao yelled. The fan in his hand burst out with a terrifying light. He directly fanned out a massive deity, onslaught Yi Shi and Yi Xing fiercely. Boom! 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 The 3 Transcendent Realm 8th level experts fought wildly and fiercely in midair, especially Si Konghao, who was furious. The humans had discovered this place first, but Crown Prince Crocodile snatched it. But there was no way. In the face of the powerful Crown Prince Crocodile, any of their protests would be interpreted as the weak's moan. There were indeed warriors in this world that were fearful towards Crown Prince Crocodile. Obviously, Si Konghao was not one of them. Thinking of this, the anger in his heart became insuppressible. As a matter of fact, Crown Prince Crocodile dismissed Si Konghao, albeit the human status in the top 10. Si Konghao, who was equally proud, couldn't accept it. Yi Shiwen ignored the battle there but stared at Crown Prince Crocodile coldly. The scope of Crown Prince Crocodile's investigation became smaller and smaller. So far, the martial art instrument was still well hidden. Even if Yi Shiwen cultivated aura convergence martial art and was extremely sensitive to aura, he still could not find the martial art instrument's traces. Suddenly, just as the Crown Prince Crocodile was going to pull up a long saber, the weapons on the entire Demon Mountain began to move frantically. It all suspended in midair all of a sudden, shaking the sky and earth. Countless martial art instruments like an army commanded by a great general swept into a vast torrent and rushed towards Crown Prince Crocodile. It's you! Crown Prince Crocodile yelled. He first turned around, set off a monstrous wave of water, and directly stopped the torrent coming from those weapons. Boom! The countless weapons burst with terrible radiance and rushed at Crown Prince Crocodile. These were all advanced weapons. That was to say, every weapon's attack was equivalent to a fully committed blow of a Transcendent Realm expert. However, Crown Prince Crocodile was only able to stop the torrent of this weapon for a while. The water wave was instantly penetrated and hit Crown Prince Crocodile directly. Crown Prince Crocodile did not dare to act arrogant. He directly launched the spherical-shaped azure blue protective barrier, wrapping himself in all corners. Boom! The moment he held up the protective barrier, he was swallowed by the flood composed of countless weapons. There was a violent shaking of the world. Countless demon auras swept out in all directions in the tremble. At this moment, the long saber that Crown Prince Crocodile almost got his hand on began to rise from the ground. This was the first time Yi Shiwen saw this long saber. It was one size bigger than an ordinary saber. Its whole body was black, emitting an indescribable demon power. Those looking at it could feel the looming demon aura. On the saber's surface, countless primitive patterns were all over the body. They were deeply embedded on the saber. It looked like a huge blood groove, which made people shudder. The sharp saber radiated a terrifying saber light, but at this time, it directly turned into a stream of light and slipped away from the void. Yi Shiwen was shocked. This saber was indeed sold. Although its intelligence was incomparable to an old monster like Yi Mo that lived for eternities, it was still adequate. For ordinary martial art instruments, becoming sold was a vital step which was also the most challenging step to cross. For an expert having many possessions like Yi Shiwen, it was rare. Chapter 942, The Canary Behind the Mantis Preying on Cicada, Boom! Amidst the loud explosion, there was a puncture on the weapons torrent. A figure jumped out directly, opened its hand, and grabbed towards the demonic saber. It was the agile Crown Prince Crocodile. He caught up immediately with the demonic saber that traveled in a light streamer. He was determined to acquire it, and he would never allow it to slip out of his hands. It was of paramount priority to obtain a splendid martial art instrument. Even the Supreme Elder of Law Manifestation Realm in the clan lacked Earth-level martial art instruments. One could imagine how precious these Earth-level martial art instruments were. It was something that could only be acquired through fate. If he could have a handful of Earth-level martial art instruments, he would surely be able to dominate many young experts. During the last time Yi Shiwen had escaped from him, he had failed to snatch the Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber away. For him, it was a humiliation. If Crown Prince Crocodile got his hands on Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber, he would even dare challenge the top Transcendent Realm 9th level experts. At that time, he would be the #1 among Flourished Cloud Sea region's younger generation. It was useless for Crown Prince Crocodile to regret now. Though he managed to let it go easily. He had only one creed. Since he did not snatch it that time, he would grab it the next time. There was a scary burning corpse previously. He thought Yi Shiwen would suffer terribly at the subsequent encounter. He probably did not expect that the ant he could previously kill quickly also grew little by little. Voila! With a shriek sonic boom, a sound arrow pierced the vast sky and shot towards the Crown Prince Crocodile. It was Si Konghao who had been waiting on the side to attack. Crown Prince Crocodile, don't think about it. Damn it. Crown Prince Crocodile felt an alarming wind rushing behind him. He turned around instinctively, reaching out his hand, and burst the sound arrow with a grasp. This sound arrow, which could quickly nail a Transcendent Realm expert to death, was not a threat to him at all. Though, this attack also achieved the purpose of stopping Crown Prince Crocodile. He became farther away from the demonic saber. The demonic saber, possessing some intelligence, could sense the terrifying strength within Crown Prince Crocodile. It decided to flee immediately, knowing that it was outmatched. Damn, Si Konghao, do you want to die? Crown Prince Crocodile roared and speeded up. He was determined to acquire the demonic saber, and yet Si Konghao stopped him multiple times. What happened agitated Crown Prince Crocodile deeply. He found it unbearable. Of course, It would never come across Crown Prince Crocodile's mind that Si Konghao was here first, and he was the one seizing it later. For him, as long as he found it, it was his. Ha, Crown Prince Crocodile. Since I can't get it, you can't get it either. Si Konghao laughed aloud. He directly fanned out a terrifying hurricane, pushing back the attacking Isher. Si Kongha's anger in his heart already soared to the sky. It was evident that he found it first, but Crown Prince Crocodile was now snatching it away from him. He would not stay silent about it. On the other side, Isher and Yi Xing pounced together to halt Si Konghao. They would not allow this human to have the opportunity to deal with Crown Prince Crocodile. It had already brought shame to them when the human managed to deliver an attack on their master. Although Si Konghao was among the top 10 in the list, they did not expect to be so strong. None of the duos were on the top 100 list. Naturally, they disdained the top 100 list completely. Except for Crown Prince Crocodile, they would not bat an eye on anyone else. Even those in the top 10 were only at Transcendent Realm 8th level. In their actual encounter, they realized that those ranked at the bottom of the top 100 list were nothing in their eyes. However, the top 10 were veritable existences. Having Transcendent Realm 8th level peak, they forced the human into constant retreat. However, the human was suppressing them. With their joint efforts, they still had no openings to defeat and kill the human. Si Kongha's combat strength was powerful. Without Crown Prince Crocodile, they would not be able to defeat him. Soon, Crown Prince Crocodile approached the demonic saber again. Chang! An astonishing saber aura imbued with boundless demon aura slashed towards the Crown Prince Crocodile as if it would kill him alive. Crown Prince Crocodile quickly avoided this saber aura. He slanted his figure and continued his pursuit again. He clutched countless water-attributed powers in his hands and grabbed the demonic saber. Immediately, he felt countless resentful spirits and wild ghosts above the demonic saber. All of them surged into his mind, making him feel restless. It was a demonic saber that harvested the lives of many beings, after all. After cultivating in a place full of demon aura like the sealed site, it had become a saber occupied with demon aura. The average warriors would not be able to utilize this weapon. The demon aura would erode their mind quickly, turning them into a madman only capable of killing. If Crown Prince Crocodile were willing to accept the transformation coming from the demon aura, this demonic saber would not mind controlling a puppet. But Crown Prince Crocodile refused to become a puppet. He screamed coldly, robust chi sweeping out from his body in ripples. It directly suppressed those demon auras. Crown Prince Crocodile was a prominent figure. He would not bat most people in his eyes. The long saber in his hand fluctuated violently in an instant. The countless demon auras had all faintly turned into a demon. With the long saber as the medium, the demon swallowed Crown Prince Crocodile. The demon slammed his punches on Crown Prince Crocodile's face, not intending to give him any chance to fight back. Crown Prince Crocodile had to let go of the long saber and turned around to avoid the fatal blow. The human-level martial art instruments could exert transcendent realm attacks, let alone the earth-level martial art instruments. Although Crown Prince Crocodile was ambitious and confident in himself, he dared not underestimate the earth-level martial art instruments. Since there was no one controlling the demonic saber, the power it exerted was limited. Though being pushed to the edge, it delivered mighty damage. As soon as Crown Prince Crocodile released the demonic saber accelerated again and broke free from the Crown Prince Crocodile. His fundamental goal was to escape from the Crown Prince Crocodile. Come back here. Crown Prince Crocodile spread out his hands, and countless chi began to sweep out in circles. A compelling attraction force enveloped the demonic saber. Sure enough, the demonic saber that was flying away fast just now was fixed on the spot. It could not move even an inch, floating in the air. Sure enough, only I'm worthy of this demonic saber. Crown Prince Crocodile grinned. Although he was used to spear, there was no pressure on him to major in saber technique. With his talent and martial art realm, he could cultivate the saber technique to a very high level in a short period. With the mighty Saber, he was confident to be the champion in the top 100 competition. In the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, there were not only the secret spear techniques but also the Saber technique of elite human level. With the elite human level Saber technique and the earth level demonic Saber, he had high confidence in eliminating the young experts. He flew towards the demonic Saber slowly. As he held the demonic Saber still, it brought tremendous pressure on him. He was unable to fly freely as he outputted vast amounts of chi at all times. As such, he had to be extra careful and not as unscrupulous as before. Chong, chong, chong. The demonic Saber continuously releases a series of threatening Saber auras, trying to cut off the chi cage. However, all its effort was futile. Crown Prince Crocodile's chi was endless, like continuous sea waves. As the demonic Saber slashed off a wave of chi, the next wave would surge forward immediately. There was a faint, horrible roar coming from the Saber. It should be the slightly sold martial art instrument roaring. He could feel the danger lay within Crown Prince Crocodile. It was an instinctive perception. In the context of a sold martial art instrument, most warriors would erase the intelligence that lay within it. The exception would be warriors who had absolute control, such as Yi Shiwen or Beast Soul Sword. Otherwise, when the sold martial art instrument ambushed at the critical moment, it would be a bitter regret. What's more, for a figure like Crown Prince Crocodile, a majestic character, how could he allow this to happen? He would kill the hidden dangers while it was in the cradle. That was his style. The sold martial art instrument also seemed to know that once Crown Prince Crocodile caught it, it would not be able to escape the fate of being wiped out. Hence, it struggled violently, absolutely not letting itself fall into the Crown Prince Crocodile's hands. Not far away at this time, Si Konghao also started to be anxious. If Crown Prince Crocodile snatched it, then all his effort would be futile. He would rather have the Saber escaped with both him and Crown Prince Crocodile left with empty hands. But at this time, Yi Shi and Yi Xing seemed to realize that it was the most critical moment. They reinforced their effort in entangling him tightly, preventing him from having any chance to make a move. So, he could only watch the Crown Prince Crocodile getting closer and closer to the demonic Saber. Immediately, there was a cheer coming from the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's group. "Prince, behind you!" Crown Prince Crocodile heard the warning. He did not have time to react, but he could only feel a swift figure flying past him and directly grabbed the demonic Saber stopped in the air. Boom! The figure grabbed the demonic Saber that was struggling frantically in midair, cut off all the prince's chi, and flew away into the void. Looking at the familiar figure and that pair of wings behind the figure, Crown Prince Crocodile's eyes turned bloodshot immediately. He roared, "Yi Shiwen!" Chapter 943. Running away indeed, this figure was none other than Yi Shiwen. After the mantis caught the cicada, the canary was already well prepared at the back. When Crown Prince Crocodile succumbed to his joy, Yi Shiwen grabbed the demonic Saber. It had always been Crown Prince Crocodile bullying others. Rarely anyone could force him to admit defeat. Yi Shiwen in front of him was a surprise. Crown Prince Crocodile, who had always regarded himself very highly, suffered a bitter end in Yi Ziwen's interference. He was enraged in his heart, with his anger burning through the entire sky. "Ah, Crown Prince Crocodile, such a fate awaits you." Si Konghao on the side was delighted. Someone else harvested the prince's effort. He was equally depressed like Crown Prince Crocodile. However, after seeing someone else snatching away the Crown Prince Crocodile's harvest, he felt refreshed. Although his combat strength was inferior to Crown Prince Crocodile, he did not cower. Each of these young experts was a prideful talent. They would not easily admit defeat to the others. What's more, their cultivation path was still at the beginning. It was hard to say who could stay in their path in the future. At this time, seeing Crown Prince Crocodile forced to admit defeat, he was no longer upset. "You're courting death!" Crown Prince Crocodile shouted violently. He grabbed forward with a massive water-powered hand at Yi Shiwen. If Yi Shiwen were caught, he would be seriously injured if he didn't die. Yi Shiwen would have been caught on the spot in the past with no way to escape. However, Yi Shiwen had far exceeded his past self. After entering the Transcendent Realm 4th level peak, his distance from Crown Prince Crocodile was not too overwhelming. It was impossible to strike Yi Shiwen with a fatal injury that easily. What's more, as Yi Shiwen exerted his cultivation, the demon wing's speed grew faster. The acceleration received an additional bonus. Yi Shiwen speeded up. The storm wings fanned, allowing his figure to flicker once again. With that, he avoided another sudden attack. The storm wings moved extremely fast in a short distance. Unless the opponent's strength were overwhelmingly stronger than Yi Shiwen, it would be challenging to catch Yi Shiwen. Tyrant Body Scripture was not so much of Yi Ziwen's backbone. Demon Wings would be a more accurate answer. Tyrant Body Scripture only gave Yi Shiwen an edge in melee combat. With Demon Wings, the opponents would not reach Yi Shiwen at all, let alone hurting him. Yi Shiwen thought the real problem was not Crown Prince Crocodile behind him. Although Crown Prince Crocodile roared furiously, he could not keep up with Yi Ziwen's speed. Only those who attained the Law Manifestation realm who could manifest their territory could cage Yi Shiwen. Of course, Yi Hong's pseudo-territory would not be able to achieve it. The genuine territory could rule all the laws in the territory. Those within the territory would be significantly suppressed. At that time, the fight was on the understanding of the Heaven Way. For Yi Shiwen, the real trouble came from the demonic saber in his hand. The moment Yi Shiwen grabbed the demonic saber, he felt a shocking demon aura swept over his body. It invaded Yi Ziwen's mind relentlessly and affected his mind. Yi Shiwen snorted coldly. Thick chi on his body emerged layer by layer, suppressing the demon aura conducted from the demonic saber in his hand. The demon aura emanated from the Earth-level martial art instruments was more tyrannical than Yi Shiwen imagined. For non-demon races, the demon aura was harmful energy. Even though there existed demon techniques imitating the demon clans, many people had suffered chi deviation while cultivating these techniques. Some even failed to cultivate the techniques, turning them into a being neither their race nor demon race. But that was only pertaining to the others. It would not be the case for Yi Shiwen. When these demon auras invaded, the Tianyuan mirror assimilated them in Yi Ziwen's body. Compared to this demonic saber, Yi Mo was considered the elderly predecessor level in all aspects. Although the Tianyuan mirror was inferior to this demonic saber, the mirror would not lose out due to Yi Mo's existence. Yi Mo appeared beside Yi Shiwen and said, "Leave the demonic saber to me." Then he plunged directly into the demonic saber. Yi Shiwen kept mobilizing the chi to suppress the demonic saber's abnormal actions. Not long after Yi Mo entered, an endless divine light burst out of the demonic saber. It was as if the demonic saber was in a fierce struggle. Immediately after, a series of demon roars sounded from it. The roars would shudder those who heard it. Yi Shiwen didn't care less. He kept suppressing the demonic saber's retaliation. It didn't take long for the demonic saber to stop. Yi Shiwen could also feel that the demonic saber had become more obedient. Yi Shiwen, it's done. I have killed the intelligence residing within the martial art instrument. Yi Mo said excitedly, I will leave a trace of spiritual sense. Soon, I will take over this weapon in the future. There will no longer be any problems. Yi Shiwen breathed a sigh of relief. From the moment when he decided to snatch the demonic saber, he was determined about one thing. He would erase the intelligence in the demonic saber. He would not leave such hidden dangers lurking around. After all, the relationship between him and Yi Mo was rare at all times. It was not the martial art instruments he refined. With the help of the souled martial art instrument, Yi Shiwen could quickly master the demonic saber. At the same time, he could have an additional 20% bonus to exert the weapon's power. However, the intelligence was also a time bomb. God knows when it would explode into a disaster suddenly. So he took the same approach as Emergent's immortal exterminating saber and directly erased the martial art instrument's intelligence. Crown Prince Crocodile behind Yi Shiwen noticed the demonic saber offered no more resistance. It happened shortly, with him not knowing how Yi Shiwen achieved it. However, it enraged him inexplicably. Yi Shiwen had erased the intelligence and suppressed the souled martial art instrument, which subsequently stopped the demonic Saber's resistance. If it were him, he would erase the intelligence too. However, after witnessing that with his eyes, the anger within him boiled intensely. The Crown Prince Crocodile, thank you for the kind gift today. Yi Zaiwen's elated voice came in front of Crown Prince Crocodile. The demon wings at his back continued to fan, allowing him to fly away quickly. Yi Shiwen, I will let you die without a complete corpse. Crown Prince Crocodile roared. He kept attacking in the sky and punctured many holes in the sky. However, he still could not bring harm to Yi Shiwen. As time passed, Yi Shiwen threw him away farther and farther until he could no longer see Yi Shiwen. He gave up angrily and then rushed back towards Si Konghao. Yi Shiwen gradually felt Crown Prince Crocodile's aura slowly disappearing behind him. Only then was he relieved. However, he did not slow down his speed. He spread his demon wings widely and flew towards the distance. After scamming Crown Prince Crocodile, Yi Shiwen immediately started to absorb the giant demon's blood essence. Tianyuan Mirror transformed the energies and poured the energies into Yi Zaiwen's body. Demon aura wind whistled around. Yi Shiwen felt as if the blood all over his body was boiling. Countless energies were raging in it. He was just a Transcendent Realm 4th level warrior. Compared with the giant demon of Transcendent Realm 8th level peak, it was still a considerable gap. There was no way to absorb the blood essences in a short while. Yi Shiwen was decisive. He began to deliver his combat moves. Only through constantly delivering his battle moves could he promote the blood essence's refining process. By doing so, his cultivation could make rapid progress. He continued to venture into the sealed site. The aura on his body became more and more intense. He could reach the Transcendent Realm 5th level at any time. The giant demon's blood essence could not be refined at all, usually. Luckily, Yi Shiwen owned the Tianyuan Mirror, allowing him to utilize his harvest for extraordinary use. However, as he ventured deeper into the sealed site, he felt that only the demon aura occupied the surrounding air. These demon auras were abnormally malicious, contaminated by many resentments. Unexpectedly, resentful spirits manifested in the sky and pounced towards Yi Shiwen. It was fair to say that the whole sky was occupied with distorted demon auras. Most of them had undergone mutation. Boom! Yi Shiwen delivered his shattered star fist, and the mighty power of the stars quickly smashed the countless demon auras in front of him into pieces. As he blasted this punch, he suddenly felt that the blood essence on his body was stimulated. A tremendous amount of it was refined in the process. As Yi Shiwen blasted out punches relentlessly, it accelerated the refining of the blood essence on his body. Yi Shiwen dispelled the feeling of being overstuffed. He only felt hardy. A flame came out of his hand, like a natural nemesis of evil. When these flames came out, they burned countless demon auras to ashes. Those demon auras mutated into evil spirits were burned into crisp immediately. A bunch of resentful spirits perished in great numbers in the face of Yi Zaiwen's saber. These resentment spirits morphed from demon aura were formidable opponents for ordinary warriors since these spirits had no material body. They relied on invading human minds and finally possessed the human body. It was a horrifying form of attack. The human body was easy to forge, but the spirit was the most difficult to develop. This common rule did not apply to Yi Shiwen. The colorful divine light constantly radiated from his body, covering him thoroughly. It was the Mingxin ancient tree. All evils shall perish in the face of it. No evil spirits could invade Yi Zaiwen's mind. So no matter how fast Yi Shiwen cultivated and possibly left behind some hidden dangers, he never worried about the so-called inner demon, let alone qi deviation. With the Mingxin ancient tree, Yi Shiwen had a clear mind all the time. Over the years, the Mingxin ancient tree had grown to a height of tens of feet, absorbing the dragon vein's spiritual energy all the time. However, Yi Shiwen knew that there was still a massive gap from achieving maturity. Even Yi Shiwen himself did not know whether he had the opportunity to witness the tree fully grown. Therefore, he didn't care about the evil spirits that ordinary people feared the most. He just barged in freely and commenced the massacre. Chapter 944. Temper. Countless demon aura winds whistling in the air, they were mixed with numerous demons and resentful spirits. A cyan figure rushed into it blatantly. It was Yi Shiwen. The aura on Yi Ziwen's body was powerful and terrifying. The chi surged outwards like ripples, setting off the demon aura hurricane. Yi Ziwen's aura seemed insuppressible. The whole process went on for 10 days. 10 days passed in an instant. No one could grasp the time tightly. But for Yi Shiwen, these 10 days had been incredibly fulfilling. He absorbed part of the giant demon's blood essence in 10 days. His body was about to be overstuffed. If it weren't because Tyrant Body Scripture had absorbed most of the blood essence, he would have blown up already. He just attained the Transcendent Realm 4th level peak. However, in the past 10 days, his progress was slow. All in all, he was still one step away from the Transcendent Realm 5th level. He could not help it. Though, the biggest gain was undeniably absorbing the giant demon's blood essence. Tyrant Body Scripture had also entered the mid to later phase of the 9th level. He was not far from attaining 9th level Great Mastery. Over the past 10 days, his slaughter was non-stop. Evil spirits in the demon aura wind swooped over. The roamers here got to be cautious at all times. Those careless would lose their life. Those roaming this place must stay in full alert, which was a hefty load to one's mind. Fortunately, Yi Shiwen did not feel the slightest fatigue with the Mingxin ancient tree's assistance. On the contrary, the constant fighting accelerated the absorption of his blood essence. His cultivation was on the verge of a breakthrough to attain Transcendent Realm 5th level. In front of him, there was an unusually massive evil spirit, contaminated with dense demon auras. On its vaguely discernible and terrifying face, a pair of blood-colored eyes stared at Yi Shiwen. It had an ominous vibe. No one knew what resentment manifested it. Its strength was invincible among Transcendent Realm 7th level, proclaiming its superiority over the other Transcendent Realm 7th level sentient beings. Although it had no physical body, it was much more challenging foes than those having an entity. This spirit was challenging to be dispersed due to its ethereal property. Every attack of the evil spirit was a mental attack. Except for Yi Shiwen having the Mingxin ancient tree protecting his mind, most people would be disadvantaged facing this kind of attack. Tisk, humans, tribute your body to me. With a body, I can leave this dark place and go out to the flowery world outside. The evil spirit said to Yi Shiwen in a bewitching voice as if to fool Yi Shiwen into it. The sound waves attempted to invade Yi Ziwen's mind, but the Mingxin ancient tree stopped all of them. Save your petty tricks. Yi Shiwen sneered. The divinity boiled on his body. These sound waves seemed to have encountered a nemesis. Many resentful spirits were instantly burned, making agonizing screams. The sound wave attacks were ineffective to Yi Shiwen as he stopped it all. Immediately, the demon became angry and snarled, "Damn human, die." A ghost claw emerged from the cluster of black mists. Shwa! The ghost claw came immediately with a visible ghostly trace at its back. Countless faint ghost fires were burning on this ghost claw. The embers burned through the sky, emitting radiance all over the place. It reached Yi Shiwen at once. Yi Shiwen suddenly felt that the surrounding air was set ablaze, instilling a terrifying pressure on him. Not only physical strain but also mental stress crushed on him. Shatter! Yi Shiwen yelled. A ball of flame manifested in his hand. Those demon aura inching toward Yi Shiwen were instantly burned, turning into the fuel for the fireball. Yi Shiwen waved his hand, morphing the fireball into a fiery long saber. The mighty saber aura instantly launched toward the demon not far away. Boom! Ghost Claw and Yi Ziwen's flame saber slammed into each other in midair. In the void, the endless demon aura sent out airwaves in all directions. The space began to be twisted. Ripples spread out in circles like the water surface. Yi Ziwen's fiery saber aura sent out sparks. It was aflame furiously, causing the demon to start screaming. Yi Shiwen mustered his thick cheese again and poured them into his hands. The fiery saber aura in his hand suddenly became twice as intense and bombarded again. The fiery saber aura slashed the ghost claw that contended on equal ground with Yi Shiwen previously. This evil spirit broke out with a scream. It quickly withdrew the ghost claw. A fiery saber aura was attached to the wound, rendering the damage unable to heal at all. The evil spirit screamed continuously. Although it was only a spirit body without an entity, this flame seemed to be able to burn on it. The bizarre scene made this demon panic. At this moment, 2 bloody rays of light were shot out from the demon's eyes. The rays engulfed Yi Shiwen in it. Immediately after, the demon turned into a cloud of demonic mist and rushed into Yi Ziwen's mind. It wanted to seize Yi Ziwen's body directly. The demon would never be able to break free from the cage without a physical body. This was also one of the world rules which it was helpless with. Yi Shiwen had strong vital energy and blood. It was like a beacon in the dark for the demon, like a moth rushing to a fire. The demon was determined to occupy Yi Ziwen's body so that it could have the chance to flee from this abyss. In this world, if the zombies had a hard time getting out of their predicament, then it would be impossible for the evil spirits that weren't bound by the law of incarnation and physical law. After all, the worldly laws dictated their fate as such. The demon had exhausted all its means to leave the abyss. Yi Shiwen was a fantastic vessel. He would not give up. Futile attempts. You want to barge into my spiritual mind? Yi Shiwen didn't move, watching it rush directly into his spiritual sea. The demon outside his body was a challenging foe. Once it entered Yi Ziwen's spiritual sea, it had fallen entirely into Yi Ziwen's territory. This demon rushed into Yi Ziwen's body but did not find the situation as previously imagined. On the contrary, it seemed to be plunged into a quagmire. A burst of colorful divine light firmly locked its spirit. All its powers were suppressed and restrained in an instant. It was the Mingxin ancient tree activating its effects. In ordinary times, the Mingxin ancient tree did not seem to be very powerful. As a matter of fact, the Mingxin ancient tree was one of kind in this respect. With the illuminating Mingxin ancient tree, inner demons and qi deviation would not affect Yi Shiwen at all. The tree was the nemesis of this evil spirit too. Yi Shiwen pounced directly at this evil spirit. He slashed with the fiery long saber in his hand, tearing a trace in the sky in the attack. Boom! This demon screamed agonizingly. The flame burned it into ashes. After this demon was burned into a cloud of blue smoke, Yi Shiwen absorbed it directly. Instead of supplementing his physical cultivation, it refined Yi Ziwen's spiritual consciousness. Yi Shiwen suddenly felt that his spiritual sea expanded. Yi Shiwen had just come out of his spiritual sea. Immediately, a gust of malicious wind came rushing to his face. A terrifying roar echoed in his ears. Yi Shiwen turned his head and took a look. He immediately saw a zombie staring at him coldly, not far away, with a pair of green eyes. The hideous appearance would put those encountering it in panic. The clothing which the zombie wore appeared to be from ancient times. It seemed unusually old. At first glance, it was heavy armor. Probably the corpse of a deceased combatant transforming into a zombie. Yi Shiwen just remembered that the sealed site here should be an ancient battlefield. Worse still, it was the battlefield where the demon clans invaded the ancient Barrens continent. Many experts had perished in this battle. The sealed site was formed under such circumstances at that time. Under this demon aura wind, the environment was highly ominous. Many corpses have failed to decompose for thousands of years. In this case, the number of corpses transformed into zombies was unknown. Some corpses might be of the human race, while some could be of sea race. The majority should be demon zombies transformed from the deceased demon expert. Before Yi Shiwen could make a move, the demon zombie swooped over and grabbed directly at him. The terrifying ghost claw tore the space, scratching at his face. The ominous wind blew Yi Ziwen's face. He hurriedly stomped away to avoid the fatal blow. The demon wings behind him kept fanning. Yi Shiwen was feeling a little grateful. After all, the attack almost caught him just now. Chapter 945. Transcendent Realm 5th level. If Yi Zaiwen's movements were a little slower, he might be torn in half by this ghost claw on the spot. Transcendent Realm 8th level. He was deeply shocked. His opponent was a Transcendent Realm 8th level zombie. Compared to the burning corpse that Yi Shiwen had seen before, which had forced Crown Prince Crocodile to flee, this zombie still had some minor gap to it. Even compared with Crown Prince Crocodile, its superiority in evil aura was not too overwhelming. Yi Shiwen directly pulled out the demonic saber from Tianyuan mirror. In general, Yi Shiwen would try to minimize using this demonic saber. Although the intelligence of the martial art instrument was removed, it was still the same demonic saber. After using it for a long time, it would easily affect his mind and judgment. Of course, Yi Shiwen, who possessed the Mingxin ancient tree, would not be worried about this. He merely did not want to develop the habit of relying too much on foreign objects. If it weren't necessary, he would generally not use this weapon. Anyway, he would have already reached the point where everything could be a weapon. Roar! The zombie saw that his attack did not work. It roared and darted forward again. It directly punched out. Demon aura mixed with corpse aura surged in the sky, condensed heavily. The martial arts which the zombie's previous life cultivated should follow this route. Even though it had turned into a zombie, its punches did not stray away from the previous live's influence. Yi Shiwen suddenly felt unprecedented pressure, which made it almost impossible for him to breathe. It was similar to the feeling when facing Crown Prince Crocodile, but the Crown Prince Crocodile's aura was more wild and unruly than this zombie. But in terms of strength, Yi Shiwen did not know who was stronger. After all, Yi Shiwen had not forced Crown Prince Crocodile to go all out yet. Without any precedent, it was not easy to draw a conclusion. Although Yi Shiwen vaguely felt that Crown Prince Crocodile was more robust due to the zombie's inadequate intelligence, he still got serious. Yi Zaiwen's skin was instantly covered with golden divinity. It radiated golden brilliance rays amidst countless demon auras. As a result, it subverted the pressure coming from the opponent. Speaking of, not many warriors could instill their vigor on divinity. Even if it was only divinity, it instantly bounced the pressure back as if dignity had been provoked. In Yi Zaiwen's body, Tianyuan mirror flew out instantly. A terrifying, emperor-like pressure instantly suppressed the zombie firmly. Immediately, the zombie only felt aggrieved. A horrible pressure came over it. This pressure came instinctually within the zombie, alluring him to give in. With the demon aura shaping its zombie physique, it was no different from the demon race to some extent. If Tianyuan mirror were in the peak state, let alone the demon race, it would even overwhelm other races. Less the wishful thinking, Tianyuan mirror was not in the peak state while the opponent was not a thorough demon race. However, it still operated the function to suppress a part of the opponent's strength. Roar! Feeling that it was suppressed, this zombie enraged, summoning the corpse aura to resist this inexplicable pressure. The zombie realized that its demon aura was sluggish. Compared with just now, it was a world of difference. Besides being a half-demon, it was still a zombie having its corpse aura. Having the demon aura suppressed, its remaining option was the corpse aura sustaining weaker suppression. The strength had not weakened too much in the end. Yi Shiwen took a deep breath, albeit nothing being relieved from the drop on the zombie's power. Every zombie's fist would manifest a mountain range, smashing against Yi Shiwen. The attacks were formidable. These mountain ranges seemed capable of destroying the world, forming an invisible pressure on Yi Zaiwen's heart. Yi Shiwen delivered another saber slash. With the demonic saber's amplification effect, the fiery saber aura Yi Shiwen sent out was even more terrifying. It formed a giant sea of fire in midair. It slashed directly on the incoming mountain range. Boom! Flame and the fist might violently collided in midair, sweeping out a terrifying black whirlwind. Zombie's fist did not travel fast in the vast sky, but the absolute horror was that the fist was as heavy as a mountain. The force carried in the punch was equivalent to a blast in dissipating the entire mountain range. A colossal force hit Yi Shiwen directly through the long saber. Yi Shiwen retreated 6 steps, with each step crushed a large air area, forming a spectacular scene in the sky. Yi Shiwen had exerted mighty physical strength with the tyrant body. However, the zombie was not the average Joe. The zombie flesh itself was top-notch in the world too. It was different from the powerful races with incredible bloodline. The zombie body was reinforced out of later efforts rather than inborn. Its power was even sturdier than Yi Shiwen. Of course, if it were a powerful clan group corpse, then the zombie transformed after death would improve significantly. For example, the zombie dragon or an inborn sturdy clan group such as a titan zombie, when the corpse transformed into a zombie, it would become even more terrifying. Yi Ziwen's complexion was flushed. The punch just now stimulated the vital energy and blood in his body. A gleam flashed in Yi Ziwen's eyes. He realized that he had received the fully committed punch of this zombie just now. Instead of an injury, he absorbed a tad bit of blood essence scattered in his body. Yi Shiwen was elated and rushed directly at this zombie, sending out slashes with his flame saber. Boom! The fist's might and the saber light collided. It was so glaring that opening eyes at this moment seemed impossible. The exchange of blows almost shattered the space, manifesting chaos and re-evolving the Big Bang scene. The huge shock wave directly set off layers of storm. The splendid fist might quickly swallowed fiery saber aura under the dense corpse aura's assistance. The gap in strength between the two sides was vividly manifested at this time. Boom! The terrifying punch hit Yi Ziwen's body at this moment. Yi Shiwen spat out a mouthful of blood. A menacing fist might run rampant on Yi Ziwen's body. Tyrant body scripture activated to its limit, clashing against the fish might in deafening sound at that moment. With the punching force neutralized, Yi Ziwen's chest was severely mutilated and bloody. If it weren't for Yi Ziwen's body to be unusually sturdy, he would be crushed to pieces by the punching force. Yi Shiwen chuckled, which strained the injuries on his body. He took a breath of cold air in pain, but his mood became more relaxed. When he got up, his bodus blood essence was absorbed way faster due to the constant fighting. The more intense the battle, the faster the absorption of the blood essence. Yi Ziwen's stagnant cultivation slowly rose as the blood essence was continuously absorbed. Only then he realized he was not at the peak of his realm yet. Initially, he thought that he had reached the limits, and it was impossible to rise any further to Transcendent Realm 5th level unless there was an exterior opportunity. Recollecting his thoughts, he realized he was wrong with ample potentials not exerted yet. It required an intense battle to force it out. If it weren't for the battle with this zombie, he would not even realize that he still had such potential. Yi Ziwen's body seemed on the verge of collapsing under the basking of the punches. It was a terrifying Transcendent Realm 8th level expert. The attacks were alarming even though Tianyuan Mirror partially suppressed the demon aura. The wound on his body rejuvenated at speed visible to the naked eye. It was the work of the Phoenix regeneration technique. However, the zombie did not give Yi Shiwen any time to react at all. As soon as Yi Shiwen gained a foothold, the zombie approached again. Another punch came violently. The violent fist might blasted toward him. Yi Ziwen's figure flew out in the air. He summoned his saber intent which rose into the sky, making the sky a danger zone. Everywhere he went, and everything he saw would be destroyed. Everything he saw would burn. The saber intent brought waves of killing intent surging in the sky. Under the urge of his chi, the long saber in his hand skyrocketed countless times and slashed toward the zombie. Boom! Yi Shiwen was blasted out again. However, his offense was not in vain. He managed to squeeze out a slash in the exchange of blows. A diagonal wound was inflicted on the zombie's chest. If it weren't for the zombie's terrifying physique, Yi Shiwen would have split it into half on the spot. The large wound had emerald green blood dripping out from it. Several of Yi Ziwen's ribs broke in an instant. However, he still seemed to be all right as if nothing happened to him. He pursued the zombie again. With the Phoenix regeneration technique, he recovered faster than the zombie. The zombie, who was snarling and frantic, rushed forward with excitement instead of backing up. The ruthless battle with the zombie continued. Boom, boom, boom. Both sides mustered all they could with each blow puncturing the air and distorting the space. Each of their moves was cutthroat. The Tianyuan mirror floated atop Yi Shiwen sent out a bloody light curtain. The emission of light brought pressure on the zombie while at the same time protecting Yi Shiwen in it. Each time the bloody light curtain was destroyed, it would materialize again. Both sides had started to familiarize themselves with the opponent's move. With that, Yi Ziwen's momentum soared higher, bringing a significant growth compared to before the battle. Boom! Yi Shiwen was blasted out again. But this time, the tremendous power poured on him had unlocked his bodis limit. The punch blasted the shackle in an instant. The aura on his body seemed to be uncontrollable, sweeping upward directly. Chapter 946, Behead. Yi Shiwen only felt that the Transcendent Realm 5th level barrier was elevated during that blow. He spouted a mouthful of blood, but his face was abnormally ruddy. The golden divinity on his body began to boil. His aura had a dramatic change compared to before. Stepping into the Transcendent Realm 5th level, his body was undergoing a qualitative change. It was a brand new realm, after all. He could feel that his strength was skyrocketing, but he still had no complete concept of how his strength grew. Thank you. If it weren't for you, I would not have been able to enter the Transcendent Realm 5th level. This is the end. I will send you off. Yi Shiwen yelled, slashing out fiery Saber aura in an instant. It set ablaze an endless sea of fire in the sky. The tremendous attack crushed the zombie directly and burned toward it. The flame itself was the most upright energy between heaven and earth. Whether it was a demon race or a zombie, the flame would have a bonus effect to counteract them. Previously, the zombie could utilize its tyrannical strength to suppress Yi Shiwen, but now he suffered defeat against Yi Ziwen's continuous slash. The zombie roared, looking up to the sky and howling. The corpse aura on its body condensed. He roared out hoarsely again. Supreme Corpse Tao. His fist condensed countless corpse auras in an instant. The corpse auras within a few miles seemed to be gathered at once. Within this small distance, it seemed to manifest a corpse Tao territory. In this zombie kingdom, a corpse god would be the supreme ruler. The zombie's cold eyes looked down on the earth, like a king patrolling its territory. Under its command, an endless army of corpses surfaced to help him conquer the world. The kingdom's only goal was to conquer one world after another and turn these worlds into a kingdom of corpse Tao with zombies running rampant to spread tragedy among humans. Yi Ziwen's eyes glittered with golden light. The opponent had the corpse Tao approaching territory level. Although it only had a rudimentary form, it was more potent than Yi Hong's pseudo-territory. Corpse Tao was a unique one among the many martial arts. The incarnation law and physical law did not restrict it. Ordinary people had no way to understand the specialty of corpse Tao truly. There was no way to learn it too. It was similar to an innate power. Unless the person died and became a corpse, it was possible to comprehend the supreme martial arts of the corpse Tao. There was indeed a line of corpse Tao among the human warriors, but it was the same as the demon race. Everyone would treat them as hostile, like the pest in the sewer. It was necessary to clean up those who cultivated improper martial arts. Yi Shiwen was forced to intensify his qi. Dense qi instantly condensed the fiery Saber aura, making it larger. Yi Shiwen directly blasted his weapon into the zombie kingdom. Yi Ziwen's fiery Saber aura was like a world-destroying mad saber. Wherever the flame passed, all corpse auras were like flammables, setting ablaze immediately. A sea of fire enveloped the mighty kingdom. Many corpses screamed agonizingly before meeting their fate to be burnt into ashes. Clang! The terrifying Saber aura penetrated everything and slammed into the zombie, inflicting a considerable wound directly on its body. The zombie roared, gritted its teeth. A look of horror flashed in the muddy eyes. This alerted the already muddy mind. Yi Ziwen's combat strength after attaining Transcendent Realm 5th level had such a terrifying change. The zombie used to knock him back constantly. But now, Yi Shiwen could beat him in one move. As Yi Shiwen dealt fatal damage, Tianyuan Mirror's pressure that was suppressing him worsened. It was suppression of its innate bloodline. With it intensified, the zombie felt that facing Yi Shiwen was like facing the almighty emperor, the legendary corpse god. The zombie had the sudden urge to kneel. The zombie kept roaring with its corpse aura surging fanatically, resisting this invisible pressure. I shall not fail. Yi Zaiwen's Saber aura thrust through the corpse Dao territory. The zombie formed by the countless corpse aura was burned into flying ash in an instant. But the opponent had not collapsed yet. The massive phantom of the corpse god kept attacking in midair. An endless corpse aura emanated from its body and extinguished the flames with his corpse aura. The phantom appeared unusually ferocious. Gradually, the zombie managed to regain his foothold. It roared abruptly, controlling the zombie's kingdom, and crushed it towards Yi Shiwen in an attempt to reap his life. Suppressed by silent pressure, the zombie knew the situation should not continue, albeit its lack of intelligence. Otherwise, the pressure might press the zombie to death. The feeling made him highly uncomfortable. Break! Yi Shiwen noticed that the most crucial thing in this corpse Dao territory was the corpse god. If he did not behead the corpse god, all his efforts would be futile even if he pierced the corpse kingdom again. To a certain extent, this territory was the embodiment of the martial arts will. All the martial artists' understanding of the heaven way would be condensed into a territory. This corpse god was the incarnation of the zombie's understanding of martial arts. Where the true essence lay. Yi Shiwen wielded his saber again in a ready stance. The unusually violent light burst directly on the demonic saber, which turned into a fiery saber aura in the sky. The wind intensified the flame. With everything prepared, Yi Shiwen slashed downwards at the opponent. Boom! The terrifying saber aura instantly penetrated the zombie kingdom again, but instead of going to the zombie, it headed to the corpse god phantom. The zombie phantom faced the saber aura that came across. It seemed to be irritated and blasted out terrifying punches one after another. The menacing fist might shone in the sky, trying to stop Yi Zaiwen's saber aura from advancing. Boom! The collision of saber aura and fist might had incurred a small mushroom cloud in the air. It rose with countless frenzied energy swept out in all directions. In the zombie kingdom, this aura wind coming from the terrifying impact bashed countless zombies. These zombies had no way to resist it, even for a moment. Die! Yi Zaiwen's figure was alright right in front of the corpse god. With the long saber in his hand turned into a glaring brilliance, countless saber lights splashed out, engulfing the air and himself. It formed a colossal beam of light and spread out. After all, this corpse god was only the embodiment of the martial arts will. It was not a real warrior. Yi Zaiwen's attack penetrated it. Boom! This huge corpse god could not stop the incoming attack at all. The saber light that Yi Shiwen summoned penetrated a hole into the corpse god and dissipated it on the spot. Puff! This zombie, who was so fierce just now, spewed out a mouthful of liquid. Yi Shiwen smashed its martial arts will into pieces. For the zombie, it was also a severe injury. The damage was similar to how a living warrior's Dao was shattered. But Yi Zaiwen's attack was not over yet. He darted in front of the zombie once again. He slashed out a shocking saber aura and bombarded it down from the sky. Boom! This zombie was directly blasted away. Much blood-like liquid splashed out. There was a creak in his body, signaling its body almost slashed in half. Roar! The zombie roared again and again. It could not imagine how the situation would become like this. Even with its low intelligence, he knew that this was abnormal. But Yi Shiwen did not intend to answer him. A demonic saber slash fell from the sky, with the approaching wind intensifying it. Boom! The demonic saber inserted the zombie into the ground, nailed to the demon soil. The zombie's energy dissipated little by little. After he died and became a zombie, it had died again. Soon the demon aura on the demonic saber spread all over the zombie. The strange power quickly absorbed the zombie's essence. This demonic saber was promoted one step further. Yi Shiwen let out a sigh of relief and landed next to this zombie. He pulled out the demonic saber, nailing the corpse. What a demonic saber! The only two weapons capable of autonomous evolution which Yi Shiwen had seen so far. Both were magical weapons. Of course, this demonic saber could not be compared with Tianyuan Mirror. After Yi Shiwen killed this zombie with lightning speed, he immediately frightened many demons who initially wanted to rush over. The demons, who were previously arrogant, looked at Yi Shiwen in horror. It was as if their position was suddenly reversed. They were not the demon, but Yi Shiwen was the real demon. Although they were bloodthirsty demons, they were smart enough to avoid danger and seek benefits only. They recognized what living things were much more formidable than them. The zombie in this area was already a dominating existence. Unless it encountered the terrifying Transcendent Realm 9th level, it was a fundamentally invincible existence. All the demons in this area could only watch idly. However, Yi Shiwen had put this zombie into eternal sleep. How could the demons not be frightened? Yi Shiwen did not bother with the fleeing demons. After killing this zombie, he already lacked interest in these demons. Killing this zombie was not the happiest thing for him. What made him happy was that his combat strength had upgraded drastically. This zombie was comparable to Crown Prince Crocodile's strength. However, it still perished under his saber. Considering the factor of Tianyuan Mirror's compression, it was still enough to prove that Yi Ziwen's combat strength had a significant breakthrough. He was confident that he could contend with Crown Prince Crocodile by relying on the demonic saber. Chapter 947. Is there a fellow human expert? 3 months later, more and more experts began to gather in the sealed site, including those from the Flourished Clouds Sea region. More and more experts got the news and gathered at that place. Never mind the Flourished Clouds Sea region experts, many solo experts honed their strength in Chaos Demon Sea. At this time, they learned the news about the entire sealed site and immediately gathered toward the sealed site. Just as many people had guessed before, the entire sealed site was indeed a vast ancient battlefield. Even the experts of long-standing lineages affirmed that it was indeed a battlefield where the ancient Barons continent and demon clan fought. With the demons retreated, many loots remained in that place. Though, some said that this battlefield was incomparable to those legendary ancient battlefields. But even so, it still attracted many warriors, especially when more and more people revealed the weapons and martial arts secret scriptures they harvested from this sealed site. What happened gained more attraction for experts to enter the Chaos Demon Sea. Although many human clans and sea clans experts perished in the sealed site during these 3 months, they held the creed: wealth comes with danger. If they valued stability, they would not have come to Chaos Demon Sea. The soaring mortality rate would not change their mind at all. During these 3 months, Yi Shiwen roamed many places and killed numerous demons. It helped to consolidate his combat strength. Since he had just entered the Transcendent Realm 5th level, he had a flawed foundation. Fortunately, the issue was curbed within 3 months. During these 3 months, Yi Shiwen was invincible with his demonic saber. His tales had granted him a prestigious reputation as the demonic saber's wielder. With this demonic saber, the Transcendent Realm 8th level experts were unmatched to Yi Shiwen. Even the Transcendent Realm 8th level peak experts were helpless in front of Yi Shiwen. Over the past few months, with countless warriors swarming the place, a small market was established in this sealed site. Many warriors would choose to rest here. Since many warriors gathered here, the vigorous vitality also attracted many demons, especially the many demons with only spirit bodies. They wanted to possess the bodies of these mighty warriors to achieve liberation from this place. Not to mention, in the past few months, there had been frequent news of possessed top experts committing massacres. However, many warriors did not heed much attention to this. After all, those who came here should be mentally prepared for being killed. However, many warriors still chose to approach the market despite many demons attacking it. After all, the massive numbers did provide some sort of security. On this day at a market, a team of warriors rushed directly through the sky. Almost all of the team members were warriors above Transcendent Realm 5th level. Who is that? They even dared to rush in blatantly. Someone asked blatantly. Look at their costumes and flags. Aren't they the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts? Look at the word Crown Prince on this flag. Crown Prince Crocodile should have arrived in person. Someone quickly recognized the details and said, No way, Crown Prince Crocodile has arrived in person. Could there be any rare treasure near here that is not discovered? Otherwise, why would Crown Prince Crocodile come in person? God knows. I heard that Crown Prince Crocodile's temper has been terrible recently. Many warriors didn't know and suffered great loss from Crown Prince Crocodile. Hey, they said someone took advantage of Crown Prince Crocodile, making him suffer a big loss. A well-informed person laughed and said, Crown Prince Crocodile lost a treasure, so he now has a terrible temper. Almost none of the people who offended him survived. Last time, a Transcendent Realm 8th level fellow did not put Crown Prince Crocodile in his eyes, thinking that he is more qualified and more robust in combat strength. In the end, Crown Prince Crocodile nailed the fellow to death with a spear. These young experts are getting more and more tyrannical. They have surpassed many famous older generation experts. How many years have they been cultivating? Some are only more than 100 years old. The oldest is around 500 years old, but they already have such terrifying combat power. The young warriors govern the world. Someone exclaimed, I heard that there are many young experts in other places. Is it the era of great prosperity? Someone speculated, if this is the case, it would be the best. We may see the collision between the most intense and brilliant geniuses, far superior to the previous generation. If this is the case, that would not be good. You must know that the genius's emergence is the sign of troubled times in history. Great prosperity will inevitably be accompanied by great turmoil. Suddenly, everyone turned silent. They all agreed to it. Any era filled with geniuses' emergence had reflected chaos in history. For those geniuses, any turmoil was a stage for them to show off themselves. However, the turmoil meant death for ordinary warriors. Even for those regarded as elites among ordinary warriors, it was no exception to them. Once the turmoil capable of affecting the entire ancient Barrens continent emerged, the flames of war would come haunting for their death. They were not better off in survival as compared to those below Transcendent Realm. But in any case, those things don't affect us, right? The times now are definitely for the collision and contest between the top experts of the younger generation. Almost all the younger generation experts of the 6 major forces have appeared here. Crown Prince Crocodile, the Poisonous Young Master, Flaming Young Master, etc. They have all emerged during this time, right? Everyone sighed immediately. Compared with these top geniuses with superior backgrounds and high combat strength, they were like the streets at the street corners. Soon after the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan team arrived, another team flew past at high altitude. The 2 young men headed the team were exceptionally dazzling with extraordinary grandeur. Someone recognized their origins. They were Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan experts, the leading force among the 3 Sea Clan forces. Tiske, the Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan's combat strength is not at all weaker than Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. They could even be stronger than the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. Not to mention the Poisonous Young Master and Flaming Young Master, there are more than 6 Transcendent Realm 8th level experts in the team. Someone exclaimed, mainly due to these Transcendent Realm 8th level experts. Even among the subclass forces, there were many Transcendent Realm 8th level experts. Still, these Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan Transcendent Realm 8th level experts were the younger generation within 500 years old, not the older generation experts. Judging from the young experts' quantity and quality, the Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan was worthwhile to stand at the peak among all sea clans in the Floral Cloud Sea region. They were even more potent than the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. In the market, many sea clans experts looked fascinated. After all, these experts represented the Sea Clan's prestige, albeit their despicableness not inferior to the human clans. After the Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan experts came in mightily, another mighty team flew past midair. The team was much robust and towering than the experts of Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan and Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan. Tisk, sure enough, the 3 major Sea Clan overlords have arrived. First, it's the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan, then the Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan, And now the last overlord is also showing up, the sky-rending whale clan. Someone took a breath of cold air. Compared with the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan and poisonous flaming dragon clan, the number of experts in this team was much lesser. They were probably half the number of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts. However, in terms of quality, the whale clan was above the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. Almost all of their members were experts above Transcendent Realm 7th level, in addition to 4 Transcendent Realm 8th level experts. The one leading was about 30 years old. He was more than 2 meters tall. He had thick eyebrows, big eyes, and a square face. He seemed superior to the average Transcendent Realm 8th level experts, capable of terraforming easily. The leading figure should be the sky-rending whale clan's top younger generation expert, Jing Wuyuan. Seeing his strong momentum, he is extraordinary. There has always been a legend about the sea clans. He is the most powerful among the sea clan's young experts. Even the Crown Prince Crocodile, the poisonous young master, and the flaming young master are not his opponents. Is this true? I don't know. This news is mostly legend with no real evidence. Most importantly, the young experts have not fought in a cutthroat manner so far. So, I am afraid that no one can determine each other's strengths and weaknesses. Those on the top 100 list are improving relentlessly over the years. These young experts may suddenly advance by leaps and bounds and then overwhelm everyone. I'm afraid we will have to find out in the top 100 competition. Seeing the young experts among these sea clans flying past, the sea clan experts cheered, but the human clan experts inevitably felt gloomy. Chapter 948, The Legend of Demonic Saber's Wielder. These days, the sea clan's young experts are arrogant. Are there none of the human clan's experts able to compete with them? The human clan experts sighed softly, seeing the sea clan's experts emerging one after another. It appeared that no human experts were emerging. The crowd was somewhat depressed. The grudge between the human clans and sea clans took place for tens of thousands of years. The two sides had grievances as deep as the sea. It was just that massive-scale conflict had not erupted yet. The human warriors grew more irritated after seeing the sea clan's experts acting smugly. However, no one dared to voice out their dissatisfaction. Among these human warriors, there were categories of them having close cultivation in Chaos Demon Sea for 100 years, 200 years, or even a few hundred years. The older generation of experts might seem prominent. Still, it was lacking in terms of the young experts who had emerged in the last few hundred years. Of course, our human clans have experts too. Among the 3 primary forces, isn't the Sea Dragon Mansion's young master peerless among the young experts? If not for him this time in close cultivation and could not make it, could the Sea Clan's experts be so arrogant? Suddenly someone mentioned the main disciple of the Sea Dragon Mansion, one of the 3 primary human clan forces. He was the Sea Dragon Mansion's young master. When it comes to Sea Dragon Mansion's young master, many people immediately felt confident because the Sea Dragon Mansion's young master ranked first in the top 100 list. He was recognized as the #1 expert of the younger generation. Only this time, the Sea Dragon Mansion's young master did not appear. Not only the Sea Dragon Mansion's young master but also Unparalleled Sword and others did not show up. Those who came here were Pei Xingqian from the Qi Gathering sect and Si Konghao. Everyone grew a little silent. There were emerging human clan young experts, but they had not come over. This made the sea clans appear better than the human clans. I don't think so. In addition to these people, there is a dark horse among the young human experts. 1. I don't know if you have heard of that demonic Saber's wielder. He is also a fellow human expert. Although we don't know his origin, many people say that he is not inferior to Crown Prince Crocodile and others in terms of combat strength. Someone said that in Chaos Demon Sea, Yi Zaiwen's name was not well known. Hence, no one connected him to the demonic Saber's wielder, who had established a reputation in the past few months. Is demonic Saber's wielder a young expert? I thought it was a senior who had been cultivating here silently for many years. Of course not. I'm certain that he is young with cultivation less than 200 years. Although we have not heard of him before, he is a dark horse expert not on the top 100 list. Those who wander in Chaos Demon Sea were all the elites among the Transcendent Realm warriors. Generally, the young experts were outmatched. They would not attain combat strengths at the elite level. Hence, the elites would not bat an eye on them unless they were at the level, like Crown Prince Crocodile. Only then, the famous elites would put attention to the expert. In the elites' eyes, those who were not in the top 20 were nothing. The elites would not bother to know their names. Despite many of them being the proud talents in the past top 100 list, they still had to resort to Chaos Demon Sea in honing themselves. But these Sea Clan experts these days are all in separate parties. They may try to avoid conflict, but they have all gathered here. Is there a new treasure emerging? Some warriors speculated. This was what attracted the crowd's attention the most. Many warriors grew eager in their hearts. If a new treasure were to emerge, they would seek a share of the pie. Let's go. We need to investigate further. Someone in the crowd suggested that. Immediately, many enthusiastic warriors chased outside one after another. Among the crowd, a cyan figure stood up. He had a long dark saber, which made him particularly eye-catching. His figure darted through the crowd and soon disappeared in front of everyone. Only a faint cyan trace visible on the horizon in the distance. The one just now is the demonic saber's wielder. He wore a cyan robe with a long saber at his back. That's right. It's definitely him. It took a while for someone to react. Dressed in cyan robe and carrying a long saber, wasn't this the most iconic characteristic of the demonic saber's wielder? Suddenly many people remembered it. Oh, it's him. He has an outstanding movement technique. Sure enough, his combat strength is extraordinary. Fortunately, we didn't say anything bad about him, or else. People who were talking about demonic saber's wielder just now had all kinds of thoughts at this time, feelings slightly shuddered in their hearts. In Chaos Demon Sea, there were too many situations where conflicts of interest could arise. The more powerful the experts involved, the more likely so. Warriors like Crown Prince Crocodile were even more unscrupulous. Not only were they powerful, but the force backing them was also huge. Yi Shiwen darted through the vast sky. His body was like a long saber breaking through the vast sky. The crowd guessed correctly. This person was Yi Shiwen. Just as they thought, Yi Shiwen also felt that the young experts of these Sea Clan forces gathered here for something. Over the past few months, he had constantly been honing his strength, and finally, he had gained a reputation, especially with the demonic saber. Yi Shiwen did not hide the demonic saber secretly like back then when he acquired demon wings. The treasures from the site contained some demon aura, which was not surprising. Many of them were demonic treasures. Moreover, the warriors fawned upon the demon race and treated them as taboo on the ancient Barons continent, unlike the true martial domain. It was because the demon race was an equal opponent to the ancient Barons continent. True martial domain was insignificant in the face of them. Any demon was enough to stir up a massive turbulence in the entire true martial domain. Yi Zaiwen's speed was swift. After a while, he had already caught up with those Sea Clan experts, only to realize that many people had already arrived first at this time. In addition to the three major Sea Clan overlords, there were many other sub-level Sea Clan experts, such as Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan and the rest. They were second only to the three major overlords, and they had all rushed over. In addition to these Sea Clans, there were also many human experts, but they were all experts of some small forces. Only the Sea Konghao could be regarded as outstanding in the ranks of Transcendent Realm 8th level. Among the human experts, he stood out from the crowd. Compared with Sea Clan's Transcendent Realm 8th level experts, he appeared slightly shabby. The lonely Sea Konghao was facing pressure coming from many Sea Clan experts. In addition to the human clans and Sea Clans, there was another force showing up at this time. It was the Sea Demon experts. The leading young experts were one man and one woman. The two Sea Demons looked extraordinary. Any one of them was comparable to Crown Prince Crocodile and others. Behind them lay a dozen of Transcendent Realm 8th level experts. After all, this place was the Sea Demon clan's home base. They would have some experts here and there. In addition to the Sea Demon clan's experts, there were several demonic sea beasts that were massive as a hill. All of them were at Transcendent Realm 8th level peak, capable of ruling a place. Their small numbers did not make them weak. Since they were top-notch experts, they were almost unbeatable among those in the same realm as them. These top experts were full of hostility, floating in the sky. It was as if the two armies were facing each other. Both sides did not give way to each other. As the auras tangled in the air, it was apparent that the humans had the weakest aura due to their short on numbers. Among the human group, only Si Konghao was a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert. Moreover, Si Konghao's combat strength was inferior to Crown Prince Crocodile. Yi Zaiwen's arrival immediately attracted everyone's attention. The sword wielder in cyan robe was eye-catching. When the human experts saw it, they were delighted. After all, the Saber wielder in cyan robe belonged to human forces. Yi Shiwen just glanced at the tense situation in the area and then walked slowly into the human group. Another pest. Suddenly, among the demonic sea beasts, a massive demonic sea beast as huge as a hill spoke. Although the demonic sea beast group was inferior in numbers, they were all Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. Each of them had intimidating combat strength. They only reluctantly united together this time to resist the oppression of other clans. Yi Shiwen only glanced at the demonic sea beast. The demonic sea beast was covered in black scales. His figure was towering with his 4 claws on the ground. From time to time, there would be waves of water coming out of the head. The silver horn was unusually eye-catching. It was a giant demonic beast with a big silver horn. Yi Shiwen roamed in the Chaos Demon Sea for a few months. Compared with a few months ago, not only had his strength improved drastically, but what mattered more was his in-depth understanding of Chaos Demon Sea. Through the memory obtained by beheading some Sea Demon clan's experts, he had the knowledge akin to the veteran in the Chaos Demon Sea. Among the many demonic sea beasts, the Silverhorn Giant Demonic Sea Beast was undoubtedly one of the more powerful clans. Although the number was rare, any adult Silverhorn Giant Demonic Sea Beast had the Transcendent Realm 9th level combat strength. The king could even possibly be at law manifestation, not worse than some of the subdragon races. Of course, they had no way to compare with ancient vicious beasts like Star Beast. Yi Shiwen just glanced at him and did not answer. His indifferent attitude infuriated the Silverhorned Giant Demonic Sea Beast. He is just a Transcendent Realm 5th level human. How dare he show his attitude in front of me? Immediately, his ferocious aura that was like a scourge surged towards Yi Shiwen. 1. A candidate or competitor about whom little is known but who unexpectedly wins or succeeds. Chapter 949. Amazing Clash. Initially, the major forces were attacking each other, so the whole scene was relatively stable. Although it was just a contest of momentum, it was evident that no one wanted to lose. At this time, this silver-horned giant demonic sea beast immediately poured all its momentum into the human forces, stirring up a mess. There were not many human experts. Only Si Konghao could hold a footing in the scene. With a powerful silver-horned giant demonic sea beast stirring up trouble, it immediately broke the balance. Seeing the humans' embarrassment, the other forces laughed aloud, ignoring the anger of the human experts present. Pests are just pests. The silver-horned giant demonic sea beast laughed the loudest with his eyes full of disdain. He did not put these human experts in his eyes. After all, he had devoured many humans. However, his laughter soon stopped as if someone was strangling his neck. He could not laugh anymore. Yi Shiwen directly swept his aura over. These auras imbued with Saber intent crushed the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast's momentum as if they were tofu. Immediately afterward, Yi Zaiwen's aura continued, turning directly into a saber and slashing directly into the demonic sea beast's forces. How dare you! Arrogant! At this time, several demonic sea beasts roared one after another. They released their aura completely, resisting Yi Zaiwen's saber aura. They all regarded Yi Zaiwen's action as a provocation. Previously, their momentum fluctuated due to the contest. It was nothing in itself. Often, it would be the contest of small groups from each race. However, they took Yi Zaiwen's words as a war declaration. Although these demonic sea beasts were usually alone, they were all on the same side now. How could they stand and watch Yi Shiwen behave arrogantly? However, they had entirely forgotten that the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast provoked the human clan's experts first. But one thing they guessed was right. Yi Shiwen was indeed provoking them. He did not care about the anger of these demonic sea beasts at all. Only them could act arrogantly while the others had to cower? What a joke! Yi Shiwen just returned the favor. Boom! Yi Zaiwen's Saber aura slammed into these demonic sea beasts' momentum in the air. Yi Zaiwen's Saber aura kept slashing down. The scattered Saber aura felt sharp even at a distance. Seeing Yi Zaiwen's action, many experts looked at him with admiration, especially those who were not optimistic about Yi Shiwen and humans. At this time, they were even more shocked. They were all prideful heaven-favored talents who would not bat an eye on ordinary warriors. Among the humans, they were only slightly wary of Si Konghao. The cyan-robed Saber wielder subverted their views entirely. The humans have another strong backbone. At this time, only 2 warriors recognized Yi Shiwen. One of them was Si Konghao. He immediately recognized the cyan-robed Saber wielder almost immediately. Isn't it the person who cut off Crown Prince Crocodile previously? Although the demonic saber that Yi Shiwen snatched was also his target, Yi Shiwen did not snatch it from him anyway. What's more, it caused Crown Prince Crocodile to suffer a bitter loss. It was beneficial from his standpoint. Of course, the most important thing was that he understood that Yi Shiwen was not a simpleton through the momentum competition just now. Although Yi Shiwen only appeared at Transcendent Realm 5th level on the surface, those who judged him on the cultivation realm would suffer a significant loss. Yi Zaiwen's strength also deterred the ill intention of other race groups. After all, it was an Earth-level martial art instrument. Not everyone was willing to give up on it. In addition to Si Konghao, the other party, who recognized Yi Shiwen, was Crown Prince Crocodile, who suffered a significant loss. At this moment, Crown Prince Crocodile was staring coldly at Yi Zaiwen's demonic saber with a coveting gaze. Immediately after, Crown Prince Crocodile sent out ruthless gazes. It was supposed to be his martial art instrument, but Yi Shiwen took it away from his hand. Of course, he was unwilling in his heart, especially under such circumstances. Boom. In the end, the momentum of the 2 parties dissipated. Yi Zaiwen's saber aura did not break apart demonic sea beast's aura. Yi Shiwen just chuckled. They say demonic sea beasts are great. I don't even see it. Brat, are you courting death? Suddenly, the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast walked out. Its massive body trembled the demonic ground. I have killed a lot of demonic sea beasts, but I have never hunted a silver-horned giant demonic sea beast, commented Yi Shiwen lightly. His words turned these demonic sea beasts' faces ugly. They had sympathy towards their kin. Despite the fights among them, as intense as the fights against foreign races, the words put shame on their face. It was like a slap in the face, disdaining their entire race. These demonic sea beasts were the hegemons of the sea who dominated a territory. None dared to disregard them so blatantly. Even their nemesis, sea demons, would not dare to speak like that. Arrogant. I have devoured a lot of humans, but I have never eaten such an arrogant person. I will dig out your courage and see how juicy your gut is. The silver-horned giant demonic sea beasts suddenly roared. Then he made a move directly. His temper was already irritable, to begin with. Facing provocation at this time, he responded with a claw attack. Terrifying chi scattered all around, turning into ripples and spreading out from the inside. Suddenly, countless demon auras were sucked dry. The space twisted violently, with small cracks turning visible. In this sealed site with a unique time and space, the space was more unstable than the outside world. Adding on to the corrosion of demon aura for so many years, the space and time were far inferior from the original state. But anyway, the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast's strength at Transcendent Realm 8th level peak should not be underestimated. Compared to the zombie that Yi Shiwen encountered before, Yi Shiwen would have to use Tianyuan Mirror to suppress the silver-horned demonic giant sea beasts if it were a few months ago. Only by using demonic Saber could he contend with the silver-horned demonic giant sea beasts. But now, Yi Shiwen was formidable with bare hands already. In the past few months, Yi Shiwen had grown more than just experience. Chong. Yi Zaiwen's hand was set ablaze, which then manifested a long saber. With a slash, it instantly turned the entire sky into a sea of fire. Boom! The silver-horned giant demonic sea beast's claw slammed into the saber aura. The collision of two tremendous forces trembled the sky and earth. Everyone was startled that their expressions changed drastically. The fight between these two was far beyond everyone's imagination. Initially, in everyone's expectation, the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast could slaughter this kid with ease. The only exceptions were Sea Konghao and Crown Prince Crocodile. Almost everyone thought so. They had not witnessed Yi Zaiwen's true strength, so they just speculated based on his realm. Like that, many opponents were careless due to Yi Zaiwen's cultivation realm and finally suffered a loss in Yi Zaiwen's hands. Yi Zaiwen's realm was like a natural camouflage, disguised as a harmless rabbit. This trick was particularly effective to the prideful Transcendent Realm 7th level and 8th level experts. That was why Yi Shiwen amazed the audience as soon as he made a move. At this time, the other experts who were late had slowly arrived. They immediately witnessed such a violent battle scene. A silver-horned giant demonic sea beast beyond Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. No matter the race, all experts would have to escape if they were to encounter such a vicious beast. The silver-horned giant demonic sea beast was a terrifying existence even among his realm. None was worthwhile to be his opponents. But such a vicious beast was fighting on equal ground with a figure. Especially human experts, they were surprised to see their kin fighting against this demonic sea beast. Didn't it feel like human experts were lacking and could not gain a foothold in this situation? Someone had emerged among the humans. For the humans, they were satisfied with Yi Shiwen holding their footings. If he had not appeared, the human experts would have already turned their heads and left. After all, it would be a one-way trip without top experts' protection. In front of the top experts, the number advantage was a joke unless the number was too much to an exaggerated level. Otherwise, it would be difficult to cause any problems for those top experts. A top expert could easily slaughter a group of experts to death. Isn't that the demonic Saber's wielder that appeared previously? Those with keen eyes recognized the demonic Saber's wielder, who had left swiftly in the market just now. Unexpectedly, he is so powerful. With this strength, regardless of his realm, he can truly match the Transcendent Realm 8th level peak experts. It's great. Another top-notch expert is in our human clan lineup. Our security is further guaranteed. Someone cheered secretly. Although they all belonged to different forces at this time, they were all experts who represent humans. Chapter 950. What is his bloodline? At this time, the battle between Yi Shiwen and this silver-horned giant demonic sea beast had escalated. The battlefield had soared to the cloud from the ground. It was not only because of fear of implicating other people. It was more important to avoid these unruly experts from making their moves. A fight at a high altitude would be more smooth. Yi Zaiwen's wood-burning saber technique was earth-shattering. The unparalleled saber coupled with tyrant body made Yi Shiwen seem peerless. Yi Shiwen did not fall into any slight disadvantage in the face-to-face battle with the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast. Immediately, many people were surprised. The demonic sea beasts had viscous sea creatures' bloodline span for thousands of years. They possessed the violent blood of the demon race too. As a result, their physique was pushed to the peak. There was no way for the human race to compete with the demonic sea beasts under normal circumstances. Especially in the flesh, humans were much inferior. It often took several experts to slay a demonic sea beast. This was also the reason why this silver-horned giant demonic sea beast dared to be so arrogant. There was no human expert at his level. Even if he irritated Si Konghao and forced him to make a move, he had the confidence to slay the human expert, let alone the rest of the humans akin to domestic animals for him. But Yi Zaiwen's tyrannical physique far exceeded everyone's knowledge of the human body, especially there was a gap in the cultivation realm. The Silverhorn giant demonic sea beast was already Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. Although he had not yet reached the Transcendent Realm 9th level, he was not far off. However, Yi Shiwen was only at the Transcendent Realm 5th level. Both sides had a difference of 3 realm levels. Yi Shiwen was capable of suppressing the Silverhorn giant demonic sea beast in terms of physique. How could this not surprise the witnesses? The confrontation of the two brought out a horrible cyclone, sweeping out in all directions. It set off demon aura gales, killing many demons lurking in the dark. Crown Prince, should we take action? This kid is getting stronger. At this time, Isher appeared beside Crown Prince Crocodile and spoke. His gaze on Yi Shiwen was spiteful, boiling with murderous intent. Yi Shiwen was a lot more oppressive than the previous encounter. Yi Shiwen kept fleeing when he seized the demonic saber from Crown Prince Crocodile previously. After his successful attempt, Yi Shiwen hurried away without hesitation. Contrary to the past, Yi Shiwen had the combat strength to contend with Transcendent Realm 8th level peak experts at the moment. The improvement of combat strength was simply unbelievable. Most importantly, Isher's little brother Yi-Rei was ordered to hunt down Yi Shiwen. With Yi Shiwen still alive now and his brother lost contact, the outcome was already evident. It must be that Yi-Rei had died tragically in Yi Zaiwen's hands. For him, Yi Shiwen was not only Crown Prince Crocodile's enemy but also his little brother's murderer. Crown Prince Crocodile's eyes flickered with glaring killing intent. He was full of resentment towards Yi Shiwen. He did not expect that the little ant he did not bat in his eyes started to threaten his well-being. In the beginning, Yi Shiwen could deal no harm to him. However, after witnessing the battle between Yi Shiwen and the Silverhorn giant demonic sea beast, to say that Yi Shiwen was not a concern would only be self-deceiving. Although Crown Prince Crocodile was arrogant, he never deceived himself. At worst, Yi Shiwen had the combat strength of Transcendent Realm 8th level, which meant he was at the same combat level as Yi Shiwen. Although he was still confident that he would outmatch Yi Shiwen, any further development would allow this human to be a hegemon representing the human clans. This was something he absolutely would not allow to happen. Let's assess the situation first. If Yi Shiwen is dead, that will be good. If he wins in the end, then we must take the shot decisively. You are responsible for stopping Si Konghao later. I will personally deal with Yi Shiwen. Think about it, our vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's talents have also died a lot in his hand. This hurts the clan's foundation a lot. It is a must to get rid of him, said Crown Prince Crocodile coldly. Crown Prince Crocodile did not regard Yi Hong and Ying as powerful opponents. In Crown Prince Crocodile's view, these two were the foundational forces to dominate the Floral Cloud Sea region in the future. From this point of view, Crown Prince Crocodile was much more ambitious than Yi Hong and Ying. He disregarded them entirely. In his heart, the duo was only worthy of being his subordinate. That was why he could tolerate the existence of competitors whose ultimate goal was to challenge him, both overtly and secretly. The stage of his battle involved the entire Flourished Cloud Sea region and even other sea regions. In his opinion, the fighting in his clan was just child's play. Yi Hong and Ying's death did reduce the number of competitors, but it also weakened his future strength. Including the hatred of sieging his saber and coveting the emergence immortal exterminating saber in Yi Zaiwen's hands, Crown Prince Crocodile was determined to kill Yi Shiwen right at this place. Brother, look, what is this human's bloodline? It's so fascinating. Even the Silverhorn giant demonic sea beast can't beat him despite the higher cultivation realm. At this time, among the sea demons, the young female expert asked the young male expert. These two warriors turned out to be brother and sister. The male sea demon young expert looked at Yi Shiwen, frowned, and said, they aren't in the same realm. Although human clans are never known for their physique, they always have some special bloodline. Some ancient humans are experts in this area. It's so unexpected that the level of difference is so much that the human can suppress this silver-horned giant demonic sea beast. This is something unheard of. Behind them, those sea demon experts also nodded. If it was just a contest with the same cultivation realm, it was not that surprising yet to suppress this silver-horned giant demonic sea beast. After all, some clan groups had bloodlines that were exceptionally proficient at physical body cultivation. It was abnormal that it could suppress enemies across several realms. Unless it was a dragon and other legendary clan groups born with incomparable flesh and blood, it should be impossible. I seem to feel a vicious beast aura in him, just like those demonic sea beasts. It gives off a particularly dangerous feeling. I think he may be an unknown vicious beast. The female sea demon expert suddenly said. Anyway, let's just observe. The male expert cooled down. In this world, there were too many unknowns. Although they were all outstanding in strength, they were knowledgeable. But they were far worse than those of the older generation. The fiery long saber in Yi Zaiwen's hand was getting bigger and bigger. Every saber slash left a flame trace. That was the saber technique that had a firm grasp on the law of the flame. Every saber slash burned intensely. After such a long time, Yi Shiwen had already deduced wood-burning saber technique to the peak. Although it was incomplete, Yi Shiwen had been able to execute it at the highest mind construct. If the wood-burning saber technique's incomplete parts could be deduced into completion later, then the wood-burning saber technique's output would have an improvement at the fundamental level. Boom! The fiery long saber slashed directly on this silver-horned giant demonic sea beast, tearing a long crack on his body. The attack shattered the scales protecting his body. The scales on his body that could even withstand the aggression of space's collapse had shattered under one of Yi Zaiwen's slash. Although the wound was not too big, it alerted this silver-horned giant demonic sea beast. The human in front of him was not just a minute Transcendent Realm 5th level warrior. If it were just a mere Transcendent Realm 5th level ant, he would be able to slap the opponent to death already with no fear. However, he was gradually overwhelmed as the battle proceeded. His physical body cultivation that he was so proud of had no advantage in front of Yi Zaiwen's tyrant body, despite the cultivation realm disparity. If the human's cultivation realm were slightly higher, he would be utterly crushed. This tiny ant in his perception hurt him. You're still not wielding your saber yet. Do you want to die? Snarled the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast coldly. He saw that the demonic saber behind Yi Shiwen was not unsheathed, which meant the human had not gone all out yet. This was simply a humiliation to him. After all, he gave the best he had, but the opponent was still holding back. It was a naked contempt on him. Some had profound martial arts. Whether they had weapons in their hands was not significant. However, that was not always the case. After all, Yi Zaiwen's weapon was too extraordinary. It was not a decoration because it must contain mighty power. I'm more than enough to deal with you, sneered Yi Shiwen. He had no intention to wield his saber. If he needed the demonic saber to deal with the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast, he had no winning chances against Crown Prince Crocodile. Since you are digging your grave, then I will be sending you off to the afterlife. The silver-horned giant demonic sea beast was undeniably a ruthless warrior. Having a fair battle was merely a joke for him. His kind advice was on a whim. Seeing Yi Shiwen not appreciating it, he just left it be. Chapter 951. It's time to end this. The silver giant horn on his head began to sparkle. Dense demon auras surrounding the battlefield started to gather towards his giant horn. A horrifying wave emitted his massive horn with fluctuations sweeping out. The space in the battlefield instantly twisted here and there. Oh, a beam of light shot out from the silver giant horn towards Yi Shiwen. Inexplicable fluctuations swept across this horrible beam of light, glaring with the profound law entwined in it. It was the destruction law, shooting out swiftly. Ordinary warriors had no time to react. The direct bombardment shattered them into pieces. But Yi Shiwen was not a simpleton. He stomped his feet and dashed to a higher altitude, dodging the attack at the critical moment. Yi Zaiwen's speed was breakneck. Even if Demon Wings was not utilized, his movement speed was terrific. The silver-horned giant demonic sea beast was stunned on the spot. He did not expect his ultimate technique to miss Yi Shiwen. Boom! The light beam directly blasted a hole in the ground, shaking the mountains and sending off flying sand and rocks. Many onlookers were startled by this terrifying power. He's so fast. Among the two young experts leading the sea demons, the younger sister blurted. Many races possessed tyrannical physiques. However, it was rare to be equipped with the agile speed at the same time. Yi Zaiwen's swift dodge like lightning allowed influential experts present to determine the battle outcome. With this speed, he is invincible in this battle, added the sea demon brother. Initially, not many warriors were optimistic about Yi Shiwen. Since Yi Shiwen showed off his tyrannical body and agile speed, the onlookers were confident that Yi Shiwen would be invincible. On the other side, Crown Prince Crocodile's eyes glittered. But what happened was not surprising for him anymore. He learned Yi Zaiwen's agile speed personally. If it weren't for Yi Zaiwen's agile speed, how could the human possibly escape? It was because of this terrifying speed that Crown Prince Crocodile could not catch up with Yi Shiwen. Once the Crown Prince took a shot, it would need to be a fatal blow to prevent Yi Shiwen from escaping again. Si Konghao was also unusually calm. He had witnessed Yi Zaiwen's speed. Of course, unlike the depressed Crown Prince Crocodile, he was delighted. It was a rare opportunity to see Crown Prince Crocodile suffering a defeat. At this moment, Yi Zaiwen's counterattack had landed. The fiery saber aura slashed downward swiftly. At this moment, countless saber auras intertwined in midair, spreading out a net. The net string was entwined with Yi Zaiwen's understanding of the law and martial arts, rendering the net shining brightly in the sky filled with demon auras. Tyrannical saber aura smashed downward in a slash. The silver-horned giant demonic sea beast's reaction was a tad bit slower, but he could at least react. He immediately sent out a claw attack to confront it. Boom! The terrifying collision directly trembled the arena. Dangerous aura instantly rippled out, like endless sea tides. This was the first time that two terrifying fierce beings confronted truly. Unlike before, they confronted only on the physique aspect. With the law imbued in their attack at this moment, they both fought without holding back. Yi Shiwen stood alone in the vast sky and said, "Is that what you got? It seems that you who keep despising us like ants are nobody. Damn it, who do you think you are?" This silver-horned giant demonic sea beast retorted. When did he suffer such a loss? His journey had always been crushing the opponent utterly. He never had such grievances. With a roar, countless fluctuations on the silver giant horn instantly condensed and swept out. Once again, another vast beam of light shot out directly. The fiery long saber in Yi Zaiwen's hand burned blazingly. Yi Shiwen confronted it fearlessly. He traversed while leaving splendid traces in midair and slashed directly onto the light beam. Boom! Accompanied by the sound of a massive explosion, the confrontation set off endless wind and waves. The terrifying waves took the form of a sphere before bursting in midair. Many onlooking warriors emitted a thick protective body chi to stop the overpowering wind from injuring them. To everyone's surprise, Yi Shiwen did not choose to dodge the attack. The direct confrontation was beyond everyone's expectations. Multiple gusts swayed the fiery long saber in Yi Zaiwen's hand continuously, as if it would be extinguished in the next second. Yi Zaiwen's wood-burning saber was ethereal manifested through his chi. Hence, it appeared even weaker. That terrifying beam of light was approaching Yi Zaiwen's face in the distance less than a foot. However, Yi Zaiwen's fiery long saber halted it solidly. After the shocking collision, the fiery long saber and the beam of light radiated dazzling light. Yi Shiwen did not cower but confronted head-on. Shwa! Like a silent picture, the fiery long saber in Yi Zaiwen's hand split the light beam. His silver horn failed to sustain the light beam continuously. It happened in just a moment, albeit the long description. At this time, this silver-horned giant demonic sea beast darted over. His hill-like figure that darted out was menacing as if a hill crumbled towards you. His front paws swept towards Yi Shiwen, leaving a gloomy trace in midair. The sky was boiling as if condensed into a huge cage. It shrouded toward Yi Shiwen all of a sudden. Those trapped would be strangled to pieces on the spot. Yi Shiwen did not show any weakness either. His reaction was faster than this silver-horned giant demonic sea beast. He slashed out several times to confront the cage. Each saber aura was capable of tearing the sky and earth, setting the sky ablaze. Both sides kept exchanging blows and displayed their mighty combat power. All the onlookers were amazed by it. This is the Transcendent Realm 8th level peak combat strength. Perhaps this was a combat strength unattainable throughout their entire life. They were certain that even if they attained Transcendent Realm 8th level, it was impossible to achieve such combat strength in this realm. This marked the difference in everyone's potential. Some warriors had an earth-shattering difference, albeit the same realm. This was particularly true and exaggerated in Yi Zaiwen's case. Transcendent Realm 5th level had overwhelmed a demonic sea beast of Transcendent Realm 8th level. Many warriors felt an invisible pressure on their hearts. Who is the actual beast here? I am afraid that Yi Shiwen, who can crush the Transcendent Realm 8th level Silverhorn giant demonic sea beast, is more like a monster in human skin. What's more frightening was that as the fight continued unreservedly, both sides would naturally have injuries that would gradually intensify. But even in this situation, Yi Shiwen did not have this problem. On the contrary, he became more ruthless as the battle continued. It seemed that there was no injury affecting him at all. His saber technique was unfolded with domineering tactics, slashing straight away. If the opponent chose not to defend it, the result would be death. However, what they were facing were unimaginable impacts. Boom. Boom! Boom! Yi Zaiwen's slash beat the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast into retreat non-stop. Cracks began to appear on the beast's body scale armor. When Yi Shiwen managed to land a slash, another crack would appear. Immense blood flowed down the cracks. His lantern-like eyes were filled with disbelief. Was the being in front of him an actual human? His physique was not weak at all. Ordinary human flesh would tear on the spot. After numerous exchanges of blows with Yi Shiwen, it had no effect. Is my power so insignificant? No way, this is impossible. Judging from the intensity of the flame saber that Yi Shiwen slashed, the human had a powerful physique, but it was not up to the point where the opponent could neglect his attack. What is going on? Yi Shiwen did not give him too much time to think about it. His next wave of attacks was approaching. The silver-horned giant demonic sea beast's physical state had been declining as time went by. Yi Shiwen was unhindered. There was almost no pause, and the constant attacks came over. Clang! Yi Zaiwen's fiery long saber finally seized the opportunity to break through all the protections of the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast. The attack directly pierced the beast's body, tearing a massive wound. Roar! The silver-horned giant demonic sea beast was in pain. He roared fanatically and swept toward Yi Shiwen. The massive body came crushing over. The claw attacks cracked the vast sky while approaching. Umph! Yi Shiwen snorted coldly and retrieved the long saber. He then punched out directly. It's time to end this. The surrounding space quickly turned into cosmic space. Countless star power condensed towards Yi Zaiwen's fist. Meteor explosion. Yi Shiwen punched over with the fist might pierce the vast sky and hit the silver-horned giant demonic sea beast directly. Boom! The silver-horned giant demonic sea beast was blasted away. His physical body was collapsing. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.